in the PPG points chase. A win at the last race in Vancouver, and a pole here has him now just 2 points behind the point leader, Bobby Rahal. Michael's season is the ultimate roller coaster. A crash in the pits at Long Beach left him with only 2 points after the first 2 races. But through all the ups and downs, he put up numbers that could add up to the first PPG championship for this second-generation driver. This year, he's sat on the pole 7 times, more than any other driver. He's led 670 laps, nearly 40% of all laps run this season. And his 5 victories are far and away the most in the series. Now, the Tour moves to a track Michael knows well, the Mid Ohio Sports Car Course, where last year a spin and then a broken wing could not stop the younger Andretti from getting by his father and taking the checkered flag. 3 times, Michael has finished second in the PPG Championship. This year, the mantle of champion could be his, but he needs a victory here at Mid Ohio to keep the dream alive.
Racing presents the 14th event of the 17-race schedule, the Mid Ohio 200, just about halfway between Cleveland and Columbus. And while last year they raced in the wet, here's how the field will line up under ideal conditions. And with the pole, Michael Andretti on a tear in the second half of the season, a winner in both Toronto and Vancouver. Outside row 1 is Rick Mears. He's well placed. He was 6th in Vancouver. Inside 2 is the consistent Bobby Rahal, 1 win and 7 other top 3 finishes for the points leader. An excellent qualifying position for Scott Pruitt, coming off of 5th in Vancouver. In row 3, there's Emma, 1 victory this season, that at Detroit. Also in 3, the eldest Andretti, Mario, 4th in Vancouver. On to row 4 to find Little Al, don't count out the defending CART champion. And John Andretti struggling a bit as the season goes by. In row 5, Danny Sullivan, who is signed with Gallus Craco for 92, and Ari Lyondike, a clouded future for him. Inside row 6, Eddie Cheever for Target Scotch, along with Toronto's Scott Goodyear, 8th in Vancouver. As the cars circle the 2.25-mile permanent road course, which features 15 turns, they'll race for just under 200 miles. 4 of today's starters have won here before. Michael, of course, Mario, Bobby Rahal twice, and Emma once. And to get us underway, here are Derek Daly and the voice of IndyCar Racing, Paul Page.
There's the green flag. So now we begin racing here at Mid Ohio, and Rick Mears gets a jump on Michael. Can he hold it down into that tight turn?
Oh, Mears got a great jump on Michael, but Michael takes advantage of that inside down. Look at Mears kick the dust up.
Oh, Michael Andretti, then Rick Mears, then Bobby Rahal. Here's the rest of the field coming through. And this is the 3rd race in a row that Michael Andretti has led the opening lap. The rest of the field strings through. You can see Scott Pruitt in the number 11 car as he closes in on Rahal. For Pruitt, this is a home circuit. They do most of their testing with the True Sports team here at a track that is in fact owned by True Sports.
And remember, nobody knows what leading the race, how important that is more than Michael. Remember the move he made way back in Portland because it was so critical to get that lead. Now, Rick Mears did get that jump, but Michael was very brave and very aggressive to snatch that inside line right on that opening lap. But look at the lead. He's now pulling away from Rick Mears, the amount of space he puts between them. That's because he's got nice, clear road.
Second place fight is Rick Mears being challenged by Bobby Rahal, then Scott Pruitt, and Emerson Fittipaldi, whose qualifying did not go the way they would have wanted yesterday in the Penske organization because of some problems with the shock absorbers. Well, you got a glimpse there of Fittipaldi as he begins to close in now on Scott Pruitt in a fight for 5th place. The leader of the race, Michael Andretti, as we are underway at the Mid Ohio Sports Car Course in a tremendous fight in the Indy cars. And Michael Andretti, well, for him, this is a must-win situation.
That is, if Michael is to overtake Bobby Rahal in the driver's standings. The current points leader, Rahal, sits 3rd early here at Mid Ohio. Michael Andretti began this race on the pole, and he continues in the lead with Rick Mears 2nd and Bobby Rahal sitting 3rd here at Mid Ohio. Here again, Paul Page.
As we watch a battle between Eddie Cheever and John Andretti. And just a few seconds ago, John was able to try and hold off Cheever, but couldn't get the job done. And Cheever pushed his way past and picked up 9th place. Eddie Cheever now seems to be trying to pull away from John, but John's staying with him.
He is staying with him. It was actually a lapped traffic situation that John Andretti got slightly balked in. Cheever did take the opportunity, went down the inside. John Andretti did try and take it back, but Cheever saw what he was going to do and did take a very, very tight line at the end of the straight, stop the move.
Now, we mentioned a report of possible contact between John Jones and Al Unser Jr. And fortunately, we have an opportunity to take a look at that situation. Happened a few laps ago while little Al was moving his way through traffic.
Traffic is the big problem. Look at this. Oh, he hits him right on that right front and the left rear. It was actually Randy Lewis that he hits. Waves his fist, hopes that there isn't too much damage under that front suspension or the front wing. But Al Jr. lost a lot of time to Mario. Now he's made it up. That shows he's still able to run fast.
Well, with apologies to John Jones, the report came to us that it was the 12 car of Jones. Instead, it was the number 19 car, the Randy Lewis entry. And I don't think little Al was any too happy about that. Let's hope that there is no sustained damage that will cause any particular problem. It does not appear to be so as he continues his pursuit of Mario Andretti.
You know what he was very lucky about, Paul, is that he actually didn't break that right front wing, and we're looking very closely at the car here. I don't see any damage, but the tire does protrude about 7 inches outside that front wing. Maybe that was just the only part that did make contact. Luckily, he didn't break the wing or the suspension or bend it.
Boy, if he did, it's a very narrow area that they were able to get in. And as we look at the suspension, no, it looks good. But of course, we wouldn't be able to see would we the kind of small damage that it could have done.
That's right, and small little changes make big changes in the handling here, but it can't be too bad because he did lose, as we said, 10 car lengths to Mario. Now he's right back up where he was about 3 laps ago.
He continues his pursuit of Mario Andretti, a battle for 6th place. See that 37.0 in the center of the steering wheel? That's what the flow gauge on his dash ought to read when he comes into the pits, and that's how he tells. In fact, on the radio, some of the teams will actually report what they're seeing on their dash to the pits so that they can do the calculation against it every lap they go by.
That's right. As he uses the fuel, the numbers go up. He uses 10 gallons, it reads 10. He uses 11 gallons, reads 11. If it gets to 37, the rule is you get yourself into the pits. Doesn't matter where you are on the track, go straight to the pits if it reads above 37.
Well, we see very little of Michael Andretti. That's because he is leading this race. But Rick Mears is closing down a little bit. Look at the interval there. As Rick Mears works under Hiro Matsushita, Rick Mears is now 2.7 seconds behind Al Unser Jr. Let's go to the Penske pits and get this update from Gary.
Well, Paul, they're very happy, obviously, here at the way Rick Mears is settling in. We talked with Richard Buck, the crew chief, for him just a few moments ago, and they're very, very comfortable. It says it's a matter of getting rhythm, anticipating now that first crucial fuel stop. They plan at this point to bring Mears into this pit on lap 29, where Penske oversees the operation, and then his teammate Fittipaldi comes on lap 30, provided he continues to get the mileage he's getting now. So we're closing in on the first of 2 critical stops in that very narrow fuel window.
Thus far, everyone has played it very carefully in this race, including second place Rick Mears, while he's tried to close in on Michael and, in fact, tried to grab the lead away from him on the start. With the exception of the Eddie Cheever pass of John Andretti, there have been no changes at the top of the order. Everyone seems content to stay in this single file line, and I think that in part is due to the fuel situation. It shows how concerned they are. They'd like to get to that first stop and find out exactly where they are before they really pour it on.
That's right. Strategy comes in 3 different parts here. The first run, as you say, they can measure everything and monitor everything. The second, they can lay the plans. But the third one is the one where they know they either have enough fuel or they must short shift. They really want to make sure they have enough fuel to race. Now, Paul, here's the number on Rahaal's steering wheel, 36.6. Now, their crew chief has decided that that's the number, that's the magic number for Rahal. If he sees it on his digital readout, 36.6, you get straight to the pits.
So Bobby Rahal, he is currently the points leader, but if, in fact, the race would end at this point, then Michael Andretti will lead Mid Ohio with a 5-point advantage over Bobby Rahal.
And Michael has already picked up a point in his quest of Rahal for grabbing the pole position. We'll be back to Mid Ohio right after this. Welcome back to Mid Ohio. We mentioned earlier that Danny Sullivan will be driving for Gallus Craco Racing next year. while Bobby Rahal will be driving for Pat Patrick.
And here is Rahal still trying to hold off the charging Emerson Fittipaldi. The question mark, of course, is Fittipaldi. Scott Pruitt, the number 11 car, in 4th place. Just took the turn down onto the pit road. Jan Bikas is right there.
Pruitt just came into the pits. They're going to change all 4 tires. No changes expected on the chassis. Listen to that engine rev. Scott Pruitt is away, and just ahead, Allenser Jr. also gets underway.
14.7 seconds for Scott Pruitt. Al Unser Jr. in and out. These should be the last stops in this race. There you see little Al coming out behind Scott Pruitt. Also Danny Sullivan, the Alpha Power car, is into the pits. In one of his last rides for Patrick Racing, he will go over and drive for the Gallus Craco organization. And of course, Bobby Rahal will take the seat in this car next year. Al Unser Jr., you saw him come in and leave right behind the other pit stop.
This is what we just mentioned. Everybody we've seen so far can actually change all 4 tires before the fuel is finished being put in the car.
So Danny Sullivan works back up to speed, and Bobby Rahal comes into the pits. The 2nd place car, also Emerson Fittipaldi, Gary.
He's made the call. No fresh rubber. Fuel only. We've got the clock on the stop right now. Everybody watching it anxiously. He's gone in 12.5 seconds on our clock. No fresh rubber. He has hot tires, and Fittipaldi is back on course.
And Rahal jumps out just in front of him. Rahal just in front of him, but the 2 are right together on the course, and the course condition is green flag racing. Now Fittipaldi's going to try Rahal. As he comes to the outside, Fittipaldi tries to dial across Rahal, and Fittipaldi takes him for the moment.
Rahal is on the cold tires, exactly what we said. Takes too much time to heat them up. That's the gamble we now know that Emerson were trying to play and pull off, and he actually pulled it off.
A critical corner coming for Rahal still as the tire temperatures on his car come up to operating temperature. He has to tiptoe through this area because it requires a great deal of stick to navigate through here. But Fittipaldi has moved into 2nd place, and here comes the leader in, Jan Bikas.
Here comes Michael Andretti, brings it to a stop. Rahal has already been in. Junior's already been in. This could be the race. If they pull it off the way they normally do, Michael will keep that lead. They waited for every last drop of fuel. At 13.5, he's out of here.
And to the shouts of the team saying, go, 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 get Michael out of here. And right behind him, his dad, Mario, comes into the pits. There's Mario making his stop. Mario Andretti came into the pits running in 2nd place behind his son at the time due to the stops in front of him. And now Mario runs out.
Watch what happens here. Rahal tries to block Emerson, moves down the inside. Emerson on the warm tire. The hot tires goes round the outside. A great move. Now we know why he took the gamble, and it did pay off.
Of course, the downside. Oh, Tony Bettenhausen catches the barrier. Tony Bettenhausen with some damage to the car now. Tony sits in the cockpit, but looks around to see what help he may have there, so it doesn't appear that there is any injury to Tony Bettenhausen.
Under full course yellow at Mid Ohio, Michael Andretti still the leader, but a great bit of strategy on Emerson Fittipaldi's part puts him into 2nd place. Back racing under green at Mid Ohio, Scott Pruitt, who qualified 4th, continues to race 4th. The points leader Bobby Rahal sits 3rd, while Emo chases Michael.
Right now, it's a battle in the Indy cars, and it's focused on this man, the number 5 car, Emerson Fittipaldi, as he tries to catch Michael Andretti for the lead of the race.
And Michael still has the big advantage because he is the leading car. He is the one that will make it most difficult for Emerson to pass, because if Emerson does get right behind him, watch the way Michael's line will change, because he will begin to drive defensively, which he's entitled to do. Look at Al Jr. and Rick Mears.
You saw the interval in the order. In fact, you saw all the way down to this battle, 5th and 6th, Rick Mears and Al Unser Jr. as they fight, and Rick Mears darts out to try an inside line on little Al.
Oh, a difficult move to pull off there. We saw he stayed on that inside line, but really he never got close enough to Al Jr. Al was on a wide line, turned down, took the apex, and gets on his way. Now it's up to 3 or 4 car lengths, but look, Mears seems to close up on this straight.
Mears might try to the inside here under braking. The fastest straightaway down to a very slow corner. But Mears, for the moment, has to break off contact. Interesting comparison, not only here, but at the front of the field, between the Lola and the Penske car of both Rick Mears and Emerson Fittipaldi. A car that they say they've been having some problems getting balanced properly on a road course.
That's right, and that's the reason we've seen them have this trouble during racing situations. When you have a full fuel load, that's when the car, everything on the car is taxed to the maximum. That's when they have this trouble. But both Penske's are very good here today. But interesting, Al Jr. uses a lot more road through the infield section than Rick does.
And the Penske cars came here with the idea of keeping the race setup on board, even through the qualifying, because they needed to learn as much as they could about it. Now they've flashed across the line once again. Michael Andretti has stretched out a bit of a lead over Fittipaldi, now back up to 1.1 seconds. And the battle remains here with Rick Mears trying to catch Al Unser Jr. And the leader of this race, while it is Michael Andretti, pretty much still undecided who may win it. Let's go down to Jan Beekes.
Well, talking about that battle between Al Jr. and Mears, I spoke with the engineer and he said that Al's losing the front tires. In other words, he has a push in the car and the front tires are starting to go. That's why he's dropping back into the clutches of Mears.
We just saw a great picture, Jan, of that push as he came up over the hill. You can see the car washes way out, uses a lot more road than Mears.
Michael Andretti, and look ahead. There is traffic on the course. Fittipaldi no doubt sees it as well. Michael, who has been an absolute master as he flashes across the start-finish line in full view of his wife Sandy. But Michael knows how to handle the traffic, but then again, so does Fittipaldi. The traffic may in fact be the factor in the closing laps of this race. That's Hiro Matsushita just ahead of him. He clears for Michael.
He does clear, moves way to the outside. I'd like to see him do that. He can see Emerson is not behind him, so he takes the apex, moves back in. But I'm sure he knows Emerson is behind him now. He will move aside.
Michael now in the fastest part of the course, and here comes Fittipaldi, still trying to handle up the two slower cars, and now he is actually blocked by both of them.
Oh, Emerson will be blocked because this is a very tight section of the racetrack here, up over the top of the hill. Emerson is now being slowed. Look at Michael get away. Emerson will not. Oh, he didn't make it, didn't get through.
So Emerson Fittipaldi being held up there just a bit as he tries to pursue Michael Andretti. But that goes to the advantage of Michael as now he begins to pull away.
That's it. Look at the lead Michael has now. What? 4, 5, 6 seconds of a lead.
Here comes third place, Bobby Rahal. And Scott Pruitt in fourth place down the hill. And there's the battle between Rick Mears and Al Unser Jr. as they continue to fight it out for fifth place. Over on the start-finish line, the white flag comes out to Michael Andretti, indicating one more lap to go. A final pass through the keyhole carousel, and then down the long straightaway. Fuel should not be a problem. The only problem for Michael was Emerson Fittipaldi, and as they came across the line, because of the traffic, Fittipaldi was a full 3 seconds back from Michael Andretti.
It just shows you how big a part traffic can play in these races. Michael got through, but in a flash by just getting caught in this section here of the racetrack behind Greenfield and Matsushita, Emerson lost a full 3 seconds.
Well, Michael Andretti working on his final lap here on possibly his 20th career win, which will, by the way, tie him with Bobby Rahal for 13th on the all-time win list. Michael Andretti will pass Bobby Rahal in the points here. At the same time, he catches him in career wins. Oh, Michael Andretti in the final quarter mile of the racetrack now. Sweeps around the carousel, onto the pit straight, and there are Nick Finauro's checkered flags as Michael Andretti has won and picked up the lead in the points. It's the first time Michael has led in the PPG point standing this year. And as they come across the line, you saw that Al Unser Jr. was able to lead Rick Mears in the battle for fifth place.
As Michael Andretti comes in, it's a jubilant Andretti crew led by Michael's wife Sandy, who joins in the celebration. Back-to-back wins for Michael, and visual confirmation of the results. Michael winning for the 6th time in the last 10 races, followed by Emerson Fittipaldi. Bobby Rahal has to settle for 3rd. 6th through 10th includes Rick Mears, a pair of Andrettis, Mario and John, with cars 8 and 9 there as well. Eddie Cheever and Harry Lyondike. Toronto's Scott Goodyear was 11th. So with 3 races remaining, Michael assumes the standings lead. 22 points for the weekend for Michael, moves him 5 in front of Bobby Rahal. Little Al is 23 off the leading pace, followed by Rick Mears and Emerson Fittipaldi. Brian?